And composer? Made all the music?
Yeah, I composed the soundtrack too, played most of the instruments, except for third seat in. Please raise your hand, Thomas. He played trumpet, and he's a world-class trumpeter. World-class.
Well, this is the end of a long road for us. Not the end, a beginning, but, so I'll share a funny story since I'm also killing time for the itch. But, you sent an email to the festival after you submitted it, along the lines of, you showed how much you cared about it, and you said, listen to this on a high quality stereo system, or a high quality audio system, right?
Yes.
And I'm just the kind of mofo who will take the bait. And I wrote back, actually. I grab emails out of the main email box sometimes, and I wrote back and said, well, I'm gonna watch this, and I told you what speakers I've got, right?
Yes.
And
He sent a picture of his speakers.
I
from
think
his
you
house.
asked me for a picture.
Oh, well, that's what I mean.
But I said,
asked
like,
him and you
I
sent
got
it.
a quality system. It's so good that, like, I love listening to Bowie's last album, Black Star, on it, because it's like the best mix ever.
Yeah.
And then you wrote back, that is the best mix ever. And then we just started chatting, and I sent you a picture of my speakers.
And I fell in love.
So we nerded out.
Totally.
And then I tend to watch as a juror in our we have a little room in our house with a TV. It's the only room with a TV, and I tend to sit there with my wife, and we go, you know, in the evening. Most people Netflix and chill. We watch festival submissions and chill. So I was waiting for Pickle Vision to come up, because what we do is we sort from shortest to longest.
Oh, okay.
So you feel really productive when you get like all the under 10-minute ones out of the way in one night. So when Pickle Vision came up, I probably said something to her like, oh boy, this is the one. I've been chatting with this dude. Let's see what happens. And then I just freaking loved it, and loved the music, and loved the way that the visuals. I really just feel like it's fantastic. Just to me, it's like an extended music video art piece. Like, did the music come first, or did you have the visuals and then compose some stuff? That was. It took me 5 minutes, but that's my first question.
The visuals and the soundtrack, I think, kind of came together in a sense, because I kind of think audibly and visually simultaneously. And I'm sure Thomas can understand this too as a composer. You know, I hear a note, and that note can become 50 notes or whatever, and if I see an image in my head or have an idea or concept, and I also write, and so it all kind of merged, all paths, art became what that is.
All right, so excellent. And you're a bass player, right? You're a multi-instrumentalist, but is bass primary? Because I played bass 40 years ago in high school, and I freaking love the bass in this.
So much.
It's so good. Not quite as good here as at home. I got better speakers at home than here, but it's so good.
Thank you.
My foot's tapping when I'm sitting there behind you.
Thank you. Interestingly, with the soundtrack, I went into this thinking, you know, how many movies really focus on the bass guitar? I don't really know any, so I said, you know what, I want to make a movie where the bass is the primary instrument. Yeah, there's some rock and guitar in there and pretty aggressive, muscular stuff, but I think the bass needed to sing for the first time, because I wanted the bass and that low end to describe the lowness of his life, right? I mean, that was crucial. We're looking at an 85-year-old man at the end, and what you see is real. All the sores on his head, the bleeding out, the hemorrhaging of his hands, that's authentic. There was no makeup there. And that's one of the reasons why I filmed him in such a visceral way. I didn't want to mask that, you know, because as we all know as humans, we all make certain decisions in life. We make choices all the time, every day, every second. I watched this man make choices in his life that put him in a place where his life was mundane, it was tedious. He had a harpy for a wife, and they sat down in these two recliners and they watched TV day in and day out. And it was grim. I visited them one time, and that's kind of what sprung the idea. It engendered it, right? And I saw, God, I don't want to be that dude. I never have been, because I'm constantly going. I can't stop. That's my problem. But with him, he had achieved nothing in life except for he had 10 children. So they were very proud they had 10 children. That's pretty amazing. It's cool. They all survived. They didn't die of birth. And so it was interesting, though, watching what didn't happen with those 10 children. And what didn't happen with that couple, which was nothing. I didn't see love, I didn't see anything. I saw emptiness, and it disturbed me deeply. And so I said, I have to film this. And it wasn't really his story. The story's all made up, but it was just that whole idea of what's gonna happen when this guy dies in the next year or two? What's he gonna feel or think to himself on his deathbed? Will he have accomplished anything? Will he have given anything to society? Will he have left any legacy other than, hey, I've read a lot? And see, now it sounds like I'm being harsh here, but listen, this is important, this is key. It's not a judgment on my part with him. What it is honesty, right? We have to be honest with ourselves, with our foibles and what our trips are. And they couldn't see it in their lives. And so I thought, let's film this guy. And I'm gonna let you in on a really interesting secret right now. And no one else knows this. That man died in real life halfway through production. And so I had to finish this film, and it became even more surreal. It was already gonna be kind of surreal in a sense. A lot of dream sequences and, really diving into that kind of thing. Is it reality? Is it in real time? Is it not? And so that was gonna happen anyway. But then once he died, it was pretty intense, man, because I had to finish this thing, and I had to make it, and it had to still make its narrative goal, which is choices, decisions. And get off your ass, do something, create something, make something. Make people around you make things. We see so much destruction, and I'm not trying to get political or social nonsense. I'm not going to get into that right now. What I'm saying is, in general, humans have a problem with destroying rather than creating, okay? And we can blame all of ourselves. I'm not going to blame the president or the last person. I don't give a shit, right? I don't get involved in that stuff. What I'm talking about is focusing on making lasting something. So your children can see it, your grandchildren, whatever. And then when this place is gone, then I guess it doesn't matter anymore. But right now, while we're here, let's leave a mark, man. Not a skid mark, right? You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go back to some questions. I'm sorry if that was too long.
Definitely not too long. And based on what you shared, so was it, because the Pickle Vision thing, was being aware that he and his wife were just sitting there watching TV, was sort of that boob tube idiot box thing. Is that what inspired, like, you turn, because like Pickle Vision in a way is almost like the TV network you're staring at, right? Like is that observing them is what inspired that theme to enter the film?
Well, the funny thing is, actually two things brought that together. The piece Pickle Vision that you see in the movie, it's one of the lead characters. It's the pink TV with the pickle in it, right? That's a real art piece. That's one of my sculptures. I'm also a sculptor, and that's what I did for many years. That was my profession. High detail stuff and out of clay and everything else, but then also kind of mechanical stuff occasionally, like my friend AJ here. He's really brilliant too with that. But Pickle Vision is a piece, and it is about that issue. And this is before I thought about the movie, right? And before I watched him dissolve before my eyes. The piece itself was exactly about this concept. What is on TV? Is a story or a show about a pickle any dumber than what we're seeing right now come out of Hollywood? Not really. Netflix and the rest of the Scamazon, the rest of the crap that they're putting out day in and day out, it's drivel. And it's like we need to challenge ourselves and go past that Hollywood 101 mentality. And that's what these independent film festivals are all about. And this is why he's a hero. And this is why I'm impassioned enough to get on a train all the way from Portland, drive my ass 18 hours down here to be here to talk with you and maybe hopefully inspire somebody and maybe inspire myself again to do this all over next year. But long story short, the Pickle Vision is the sculpture, and then his life and other people's lives that I've seen in my life came together, and that's what it was. And it's just weird timing that they worked. And then I wrote the song Pickle Vision, and did you hear the song Pickle Vision, when he was sitting there eating the pickles and all that? When I wrote that, and wrote the lyrics to that, and all, like I said, came together. So all of a sudden you have all these different type of art mediums paralleling, and then they come together in a congeal, right? You've got sculpture, and you've got two-dimensional film, and you have music composition. and in writing or whatever else. And so they just all married, and that's what it became.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Hands? There we go.
So I have a question. I'm the type of person who gets like hyperfixated on things. Like I watch a piece of media franchise, and suddenly I see everything in the world through that lens, right?
Sure.
And I felt that in this film. He sees Pickle Vision, and suddenly everything is Pickle Vision, right?
Right.
Like, how do you feel about that sort of modern phenomenon of people attaching to media? And did you intend to make a commentary on that through this?
As far as the media goes, well, yeah, I mean, the media itself is a tremendous responsibility, right? But it doesn't fulfill it. It gives us a bunch of half-truths, lies, and then we have to sift through that garbage, right? That's horrifying. But if we're smart, like people in this room that come to festivals like this, they're thinking, we can beat the media and we can recreate that media how we want to do it. We need to put pressure on them though, right? That's the big thing. This guy's watching Pickle Vision day in and day out because he doesn't understand anything else. He's accepted their cheap story, right? And it's become his. And if we're not careful, we buy into the same dribble, right? And we become that story. And you know, this is a great example. Okay, AJ and I are at the gala the other night on Thursday, and there was somebody that came up and wanted to interview me, or they're just recording everybody, right, at the film festival. And AJ was wearing a blazer that said, "Don't be a dick," and it's kind of cool, you know. But everybody loved it. It's a cute blazer, right? But then she said, "Yeah," and they went into this big political thing about so and so being a dick or whatever. And I said, "But you know what? Can we all be that way? Why don't we all look at our jacket and say, stop being a dick, right? Because we're all busy pointing fingers, and this movie's a lot about that too. You know, it's easy to say, dude next door is doing X, and this other person or whatever, but what are we contributing to this problem, right? So that's why I stay out of politics and all the socio whining and all the nonsense, and just make art. And let the art speak for me and for people that are fed up with the crap. Okay, that's it.
There we go.
At the end of the movie, the man is riding on a rocket. What happened to the rocket?
The man is running a rocket. Yes.
The rocket he rode. Where is it?
The rocket is a piece that I built for the film, and it's about 7 feet tall, and it's in my home right now, my personal collection.
Can I have it?
Yes, you can have it.
I don't want it. I was just kidding.
And I did love the reference, because there's actually a lot of love for cinema there, and I noticed you grabbed really important cinematic images that are now public domain, like from Metropolis and Mickey
right.
and some other stuff. And honestly, the rocket, I mean, obviously Strangelove, right? Dr. Strangelove.
I never thought about it till now. Thank you for bringing that up. It
Yeah.
must have been, there you
Yeah.
go, it must have been my subconscious, right?
You were thinking it too?
Now I
Yeah.
am.
Never thought of it. In fact, when I saw that rocket in my head, I saw the rocket in my head because I saw this 88-year-old man just doing this joyride into the universe, right? It's kind of like, he's victorious. He's beat his... Okay, what is this film about? Anybody know? Just take other than what we're talking about, anybody have an idea what the kind of rhetorical vision or core is? Any ideas?
Addiction.
Addiction. Okay.
I got that the first time I saw it.
Yeah, he's tripping on addiction. Whether it's food, whether it's porn, whether it's sex, whether it's whatever, man, going on about politics, we have addictions and we need to deal with those. And this poor bastard was defeated, but then he beat the pickle witch, right? Now his addiction to pickles is absurd, just like the title, but it could have been heroin. It could have been anything, right? And so he beats it. Well, what happens at the end? He's victorious. He rides the rocket. He meets almost God, right? A concept of that, whatever that means, in the universe. And he's happy, and he's jazzed, and he's watching space aliens go by. And then his rocket breaks down. And he comes back down to Earth. When Bowie talk about breaking the ice, coming off of heroin. Same type of metaphor, right? So he comes down, plummets down, and guess what? He's back right to the same old business. He didn't beat anything. Now, instead of the pickle witch, will be what, the banana troll or the banana badger? I don't know what the hell it's going to be. You know? So. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, prior to that answer, if you were the type of filmmaker that believed that some projects can just be like funny and creative in and of themselves without necessarily having a message or a deep
Yes.
inherent theme.
Yes.
But I get that you are the latter, which is good. So my question is, did you set out to make this film to tell that message of addiction and that you just laid out right then?
That's a great question.
Or did it come naturally as a result of writing the what we saw on screen?
The film actually did not start to be about addiction whatsoever. It didn't. So it's a great question. It was purely just a creative trip. It was going to be a surreal trip about his place in life, which is kind of a miserable place. Because, in most films we see, there's a hero, right? And he triumphs, and he's Tom Cruise or he's Brad Pitt, and, it's a younger lead actor or whatever, right? I thought, man, I'm tired of that. Like I said, Hollywood 101, I want an old man, that maybe isn't attractive. Maybe he doesn't even speak much. Did you notice he had one line in the whole film? And what was that line? Not while I'm
Not
alive.
on my watch.
Not while I'm alive.
Oh.
And then he died. It's 2 months later. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And it's so I kind of, there's an emotional component to it, with him gone, and that he laid it out there, man. I had a guy come up at the last film festival. We had this big festival up in Portland, and someone came up and said, "Man, who was your lead actor? He was amazing." And I tripped because I'm like, dude, he was my neighbor across the street. Shh, don't tell him. Yes.
You mentioned that you had visited him and his wife several times.
Many times.
You felt bad about them. Does their life, the TV, was their opiate, basically?
Yes.
I'm just curious, after he passed away, if she saw this film.
She has not seen the film. In fact, what's really interesting about it is that she did not want him working on the film at all. She wanted him sitting on his ass on that TV next to her because she had a real firm grip on everything he did. And so he was so, man, I'm telling you, he lost years and became young when we started working on the film. He livened up. All of a sudden, he was, more limber. As soon as he came home, she started calling when we were on set and harassing him, and he just crumbled. And he aged before my eyes. And here's the funny thing. When we stopped doing primary filming, because I was going to do a couple reshoots or whatever, all of a sudden he started going downhill. All of a sudden I see an ambulance in like 3 weeks in front of his house. And then I'm over there helping the paramedics carry him. And it was intense. It was really intense, man. And the whole time she was just being awful, And it's so, no, unfortunately, here he has this legacy piece, and his wife can't even enjoy it because she would be jealous and bitter. It's miserable, And so I'm still putting it forth, you know what I mean? And it's here for you to see, and all of you here have heard this for the first time. I haven't discussed this anywhere else. These ideas and these concepts. What's Pickle Vision about? I don't tell them. This is it. And I probably won't do it again. So I don't know why. I just felt like sharing it with you.
But you saved his life
Yeah,
at the end.
my wife said that. She said, you saved his life. Because he was happy making film.
Yeah.
He never made a movie. He'd never made anything in his life.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's on screen, and he was ebullient and effervescent. He was offering to carry props and stuff, and he's all broken down. And it was just incredible, man. It was just, man, art brings life to things. You know what I mean? Again, it's creation versus destruction. It's that simple. It's that simple. Yes.
While I was watching the movie, I never saw an old man. I saw a child. And now, I've been tripping the entire time listening to you telling the story. Because you brought him back to life in his last moments. That you can tell that it was a person that wastes most of his time, right? His youth, whatever, like being in this relationship with this wife that, create this environment of just doing one thing, being addicted to TV and not do anything. but his performance, you will never believe that. That you will think that this is an artist, this is an actor that has been
Yes.
doing this his entire life.
Yes.
And then now listen to the story, like, you know, maybe I'm stepping in a place that I shouldn't, but I just want to say thank you in his behalf, man, because like you really make like you really brought him to life. I think he died many decades ago, man, and you bring him back to life. So thank you for doing that for that person, because
Thank
that
you.
was amazing.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It does, because, you know, when you're working with someone like that and all of a sudden they're gone, just, they're gone. And I couldn't discuss it with him. He never even saw the film, okay? That's hard for me. And so coming to festivals and sharing this with people that care about independent cinema, that's what it's about, right? I'm keeping him alive there too, I suppose, even though his family doesn't want to know about it. The rest of us can, and we do. And so we're celebrating his life. And he was happy, man. He was so happy making film. I can't even tell you. When he was doing, remember he was doing the disco scene and all that stuff, and holding the guitar and wearing this very hat and my goggles that I wear, he just felt like a rock star. He didn't even know what to do. He had never acted before. And so when I was directing him, it was a fascinating journey, trying to direct it, because he was also starting to have dementia, so he couldn't remember lines or whatever. So I said, let's scale back the lines. And that's why I became a minimalist as well. And I loved it because it changed the tone of the film entirely, right? Totally changed it, because I don't like a lot of talking heads and yakking. I mean, I can write all day long dialogue like you can, and it's fine, you know, and sometimes it's stellar. But just having him have one line was enough. And like I said, a guy coming up thinking he's a great natural, I thought he was an actor, that I hired this dude or something. It's pretty fun, you know? I mean, it's absolutely fabulous. And it goes to show all of you too, and all of us filmmakers, that sometimes we can expect that we need certain crew members or certain types of skill or whatever. But sometimes, man, if you know what you're doing and you have a vision, you can make anybody a star, right? Anyone. And that's not to down any actors in here, but I'm telling you, man, that old man proved that anybody can act if you have the right vibe, the right script, the lighting, whatever, direction, whatever, an idea. And that's what gives everybody the opportunity to be able to create. Everyone. Get off your ass and make something, you know?
And it proves you can't judge people, because just he hadn't done something creative for who knows how long in his life, and then you open a door for him and he walks right through it, and the creativity, like you said, it imbued him with joy.
Absolutely imbued him, filled him right on up, man. I mean, and I can't tell you how fun it was to work with him in those times, you know? Just to watch someone become young again, you know? It's just fantastic. Any other questions? Please, really, we're still waiting for this other thing, so I'll answer it.
Well, when they let the projector go off,
Yeah.
I'm gonna offer a refund. I wish I could show you the film. I freaking love that film.
So it's just not going to happen.
So it's not on the projector, and
That's so
I
weird.
can show you. I have confirmation that
You have to show us.
everything was there.
We trust you. We trust you inherently.
Well, I have to.
I have one last.
The worst thing is, there's nothing they can do for us
Did you have a...
besides
I-
admit they made a mistake.
I'd love to
I
have a
just
question
wanted-
from you, and you...
I just wanted to say, you know, I loved your film, and I found myself bopping to the music, and then and what I also felt myself like not conscious, right? So when I started and I was like, wait, I don't even really vibe with this type of music,
Right.
but it was so like visceral and soulful that I just got lost in the visuals and the music, and even what you said in terms of this old man. What I'm gonna take away from that is that it's never too late to discover your purpose and what joy that brings to you when you are doing the things that you love. And like you said, it's better to create art to get people thinking and you never know when you are going to inspire somebody. But our job as artists is just to create. So thank you for being here, and thank you for your masterful work of art and for your words today. It fed my soul.
Thank you. It means a lot to me. Wow, it's amazing. Thank you so much.
And I'm just gonna have some fun. Before this gentleman asks a question, do you recall I told you one of our alumni filmmakers wrote a brilliant novel about a drug addict?
Yes, you did tell me
That's
that.
him.
Oh.
He showed up. I didn't know he was coming.
Well,
The
we're gonna have to
person
see
I
this
told
book.
you about surprised me. So you have to give him the novel
Yeah, please do.
if you can. You don't have to, but he'd be.
Look at my short stories in my car.
Oh, well, you can give him a book. The short stories are great too.
I would love that as
But
well.
that novel, this guy wrote an amazing novel.
Thank you.
So now ask a question.
Okay. Well, yeah, I like as somebody that does a lot of characters, comes up with a lot of characters. I guess my question is, was the man you? Like, or
The old man.
yeah, was he meant to be either you or parts of you, or were parts of you inherent in him? Like, was it a story of you or a story you were telling?
It's a great question, and no, there's nothing me in him at all. And I think in my art, I try to kind of stay away from kind of trying to convey myself or put myself out there, especially in film, because you can get in the way of yourself, right? And then biases come in, and then all of a sudden it just becomes silly, right? And so I wanted that tale to just be fully him, and really just human in general, right? Kind of remove it from me and say, okay, let's just look at humanity in general and addiction, and again, choices. We all make them. So, but in this particular genre, art medium and film, I kind of don't put myself on screen at all. I don't want to do that. I don't want anything to do with me up there. I mean, I have enough of me all day long. Enough's enough, right? Let's look into somebody else, please. You know what I mean?
I do a lot more dialogue.
Yeah, well, this movie's kind of weird. It's kind of an anti-dialogue kind of thing, so.
And that's one of the great things about a film festival is creators who make extremely different works of art
Yes.
always appreciate each other. You know, that's one of the most rewarding things for me as a festival runner is you know, someone who makes a very serious documentary, loves an art film, and a woman who we had a director, she made this amazing film about the fact that this country has millions of rape kits on backlog, and she loved a stoner comedy. You know, there
you go.
People are wonderful if you get to know them. Hopefully. All right.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we'll wrap this up.
Thank you for tolerating this very long piece. And thank you all for your wonderful films and involvement with this incredible man. Thank you. I just want to thank you.